Animal Crossing is not a game, but a style of playing, and it is a style that perfectly fits the monotony of this year's isolation. I bet that in this video you will get to know at least one example of the creativity of the Animal Crossing fans that you haven't heard about yet. Hi, my name is Szymon Adamus, and these are the amazing games. For those of you who don't play Animal Crossing, I explained that it is a game about building and relaxing. A bit like Sims, a bit like Stardew Valley, and very much like Animal Crossing. Because this series is already 19 years old and has 9 titles. The first game appeared in 2001 on the Nintendo GameCube console. The player's task was to move to an island full of sweet talking animals and expand it in their own style without one final goal or clear end.
And become part of a thriving community. Meet your neighbors, chat with them, or help them by running errands.
The game used the time and date of the console, and many of its mechanics depended on, for example, changes of the seasons. 19 years later, on the Nintendo Switch console, Animal Crossing New Horizons is exactly the same. The player lands on the island full of sweet animals and spends a nice time. The player plants flowers, builds new houses, fishes, grows turnips, or just relaxes at KK's Friday concerts. The game was released on 20th of March 2020, and in 6-week time it sold in over 13 million copies. It has been the best start of all games ever released on Nintendo Switch. Today, only Mario Kart 8 Deluxe defeats it in the sales on Switch. The success of the game is an interesting topic in itself. Fans of the series complain that at the start and even today there's not as much content as in the previous games, and yet the game has sold like crazy. Moreover, it has become a cultural sensation, greater than ever before. Some people writing about this issue noticed that it could be related to the global pandemic and the need to break away from the monotony of isolation. AJ Willingham wrote for CNN, "There's a reason the popular game has rocketed to a cultural sensation in just a few short days. Its simple, gentle world is providing players with something that, like toilet paper and fresh fruit, seems to be in short supply, a sense of normalcy." A moment later, it turned out that the game is ideal to meet the different needs and desires of players. For example, employees of California's Monterey Bay Aquarium organized trips to their island and the Museum of Bladders, the nice owl known to all the fans of the series. During the tours, they talked not only about the aquarium itself, but also about animals and ecology.
A permanent freshwater exhibit that we have at the Monterey Bay Aquarium, everybody, is our coastal stream that features rainbow trout. Rainbow trout, of course, if they go out into the ocean, become steelhead. And so there are many different fish that go between the ocean and freshwater streams, and those are known as catadromous and anadromous fish.
Gary Whitta, the scriptwriter of such films as The Book of Eli and After Earth, created a talk show in Animal Crossing. Guests of the Animal Talking Show included Selena Gomez, Sting, and Brie Larson.
And now, because none of us can leave our homes, here's your host, Gary Whitta!
Not everything the players did in the game was so big. Some players just wanted to meet with other people and sit on a bench together. The Guardian wrote about Christine DeWitt from New York, who was dating her partner at Animal Crossing. It felt liberating to be able to sit on a bench together, gazing at the moon, to run around after each other and chase butterflies, to go fishing together behind the house. It just felt more real. However, the creativity of Animal Crossing players has gone far beyond standards. It is obvious that when a game becomes ultra popular, it suddenly becomes a source of great creativity. We've already seen it with Minecraft, Skyrim, Super Mario Maker 2 and dozens of other games. However, I have to admit that the level of creativity and commitment of Animal Crossing fans exceeded my wildest expectations. Creating an island that looks like a city and is absolutely nothing like a basic game is delightful, but predictable. Players spend literally hundreds of hours in this game, and since they are super talented and creative, they can do such things. But would you think that in Animal Crossing you will be able to fulfill your BDSM fantasies? Sadistic Denali Stylist, a professional dominatrix from San Francisco, has started to provide part of her services at Animal Crossing. Those interested can pay her in bells, the game's currency, and obey her very specific commands described in the meeting rules. And on the AC Tune Maker page, for example, you can conveniently compose a short piece of music which is then set up in the game in a similar way. It appears as a background for various actions, for example, if you would like to hear a theme from Skyrim while meeting Timmy and Tommy. Nukazon is the Animal Crossing's equivalent of eBay. You can find everything from acorns to works of art on it. Buy, sell, check current prices, compare, offer, and so on. In Animal Crossing, players do things both very personal and community-oriented. For example, Wayne Kang, a streamer from Kang Gaming channel, together with his wife and friends, planned an event in Animal Crossing where they learned about the gender of their child together with the audience.
It's a pink crown! Oh!
But there are also projects like Meteo Nook. This is a website created by Ash Wolf, also known as Ninji. A software developer from Scotland has pulled enough data from the game code to be able to create a weather forecast scheme based on the weather conditions in a particular minute or even second of the game. This allows the player to check which day a double rainbow, aurora, or an important meteor shower will appear on their island. And you know what's great? That it is all just the tip of the iceberg. I could also tell you about Hellman's Canada, which has donated real money to support the hungry Canadians in need for the spoiled turnip that is an important currency in the game. Or that IKEA Taiwan has released a virtual catalog of its furniture with characters and items from Animal Crossing. Or about the thousands of patterns made by players, from paintings to earth textures to fireworks patterns. I could list such examples until morning, and still in the comments you could easily drop me 100 more. Of course, Animal Crossing series has its problems. For example, time traveling, moving the console clock to jump to other days in the game, is a hot topic in the community. Some people support this style of playing, others criticize it. But in general, it is a series that stimulates incredible creativity and fraternity. It promotes extremely positive emotions, builds ties, and inspires interesting exploratory and often really useful actions. If you are still wondering why at the time of a global pandemic that causes fear and uncertainty about the future, this game has gained such popularity, maybe that's why. Because although it is only a game of catching butterflies and fishing, it is most importantly a game based on positive emotions. Let me know in the comments if you play Animal Crossing and what is the craziest stuff related to the series you have heard about. Meanwhile, take care, you wonderful people. Bye.